as you do see, even though being blinded right now, there is a microphone located right down in front, so start thinking about your questions for Josh. And I guess, yeah, sure, if you want to line up now, you might as well. You might be hanging out for a few minutes, but that's cool. Are you guys ready for me to bring them out?
Yes!
It is my absolute privilege to bring to the Animate stage the one and only Josh Keaton! And we're going to give an extra round of applause for his wonderful Costco sweater. Look at this. So cozy, so nice. Hi.
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Awesome. Oh, we got a line already.
I know.
Nice.
I know.
How are you?
I'm so good. I'm doing amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. How are you?
It's been a while since I've seen you.
I know. It's been a little bit. How are things?
Things are great. Things have been busy. Yeah. I think I probably stayed up a little too late last night, so
Yeah.
didn't get a whole lot of sleep. But I've been having a good time. It's nice to be back in Florida.
Yeah, the 305.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. So I kind of wanted to jump off, start by asking, like, obviously we're here at a convention, we're celebrating all things fandoms. What were some of your fandoms growing up?
Growing up, well, I mean, fandom was different when I was a kid. Like, there was no social media, there was no internet, which has been like a great thing for fandoms to really be able to get together. Because when I was a kid, like, if you were into anime or like, you couldn't really be into it unless you had a friend who had like the VHS tape that he could let you borrow, and that was it. Like, you really couldn't find a crowd of like-minded nerds. It was a lot harder. But I was really into like Transformers G1. I liked the Thundercats. I liked He-Man. I was a big fan of what else? There was this show called Land of the Lost.
I love Land of the Lost.
And I was a huge fan of Land of the Lost, and then when I like saw it as an adult, I was like, this looks terrible. But when I was a kid, it was real. Like, it totally felt like I was watching like real dinosaurs. It's just amazing how you have that suspension of disbelief and your imagination fills it all in, but then when you come and see it as an adult, it's a totally different thing.
They weren't real dinosaurs?
No.
Oh, this is how I'm learning about it?
You're just like, yeah, but
the whole time?
I love that show.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about like life pre-social media, but I remember like, were you on MySpace?
Before that there was Friendster.
Oh, Friendster, of course.
Friendster. Yeah, I was on MySpace. I had a MySpace music page.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, we were talking briefly backstage before we came out, and like, am I allowed to talk music with you?
Yeah, of course.
So, like, your love of, let's say, acting and music, was it always like simultaneous, or did one come
No,
from
you
the
know,
other?
like I didn't really get into singing until probably like my early teenage years was when I really started to get into it, and it was something that just kind of snowballed, where I got into it, I really kind of focused on it for a little while, and I had been acting all throughout. Like, I started out as an actor, I was like an on-camera actor since I was a little kid, and so that was kind of like my first thing that I would always do. And then I just took like a detour career-wise, and was in a boy band for a while, and toured with them, and then was doing a solo record, but then like ended up getting shelved because of record industry stuff, where, you know, this president gets promoted, and so somebody else comes to take his place, but then that guy either shelves or drops everybody he didn't sign. So, like, you know, you work on an album for like a year and a half, and then it just doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah.
Do you still like do music? Do you dabble anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of soured on the industry part of it, like, but in terms of actually like making music, I still really enjoy it. I've been really fortunate to be able to do to be able to sing in certain animated projects that I've been a part of. I got to be in like there's a show called Symbiotic Titan, and I played like this post-punk emo guy that had a band that the character Lance wanted to join, called Disenfranchised. And they thought that they were really just too cool for school. And I got to sing a couple of songs as this guy. And it was cool because I would like read in the comments where they would show the video that had this song in it. They're like, yo, is this a real song? Is this like a real band? Where can we download this song? And I was like, yeah, it's really neat. And then I got to sing a Chase song in Be Cool Scooby-Doo, which was awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, like that was kind of like a bucket list thing. Where I'm like, I want to like sing a Chase song for Scooby. And I got to do that, and I did that in front of Frank Welker.
Oh.
And
Oh.
no, it was like, that was probably, and by this time I had already worked with Frank on Transformers Prime for like two years. So it's like I knew him really well by this point, but he'd never heard me sing. And so when he came into the control room, I was in the vocal booth, we were at, where were we? We were at Salami Studios. And so Salami Studios has this big, like a big vocal booth where you can have like full cast recordings. And then they'll have like a control room where the directors and all that sit. And so he came into the control room because he was gonna come in and do his Scooby stuff and his Fred stuff. And he was there early. And I was like midway through the first verse when he came in. So I see him come in while I'm in the middle of singing and I'm like, Frank's about to hear me sing. Oh my God, just don't mess up, don't mess up. And I made it through singing the entire song. And one of the best moments in my entire like VO career was after I finished the song, I see him and he gives me that like proud Mr. Miyagi like, and it was like one of the best moments of my life. One of the best moments of my life.
That's so great. I love that. Okay, so do you karaoke?
Yeah.
Okay, so how about what would be your go-to karaoke song and what would be Spider-Man's go-to karaoke song?
Oh, my go-to karaoke song would probably be Careless Whisper, George Michael. Or, well, yeah, it used to be another one, but then the songwriter is a complete scumbag, and so now I can't really sing that song anymore. It was I Believe I Can Fly, but R. Kelly's horrible. So I don't sing that song really anymore. Which is a shame, because it's a great song, but like I don't really want to, contribute to his mechanical songwriting royalties in any way. So, yeah, now it's Careless Whisper.
It's a great song.
It is a great song.
Yeah.
And then for Spidey, oh man, that's a tough one. I've never even thought about like, I think he'd probably be a little too embarrassed to do karaoke, unless he was in the mask. If he was in the mask, then, like Peter would be too embarrassed to do karaoke. As Spider-Man, maybe, these boots are made for walking. Yeah. Something like that.
I was gonna say it could be like one of those, the karaoke places where it's like private room.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's
Exactly.
the vibe.
Yeah, but I still don't think he would want to. I still don't think Peter would do it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
valid. Very valid.
No, I don't really. This isn't really something I do.
Well, I want to hear Careless Whisper later.
Okay, maybe.
Cool. Okay. So let's go to questions from you guys. So, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Brendan, and
Hey, Brendan.
my question is, what's your favorite Marvel Rivals? Could be any character.
Favorite Marvel Rival skin?
Yeah.
You said?
Yeah.
You know what? I am only just now starting to play it, so I'm still in the tutorial. I haven't really seen a bunch of the skins yet, so that's. I mean, I can just do a total cop-out answer and say the best Iron Man skin, the free one that they gave out with the code. That one. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. But it'll probably change once I actually start playing the game and have some more experience with it. I'm only now just starting to play it, and so I'm still in the tutorial. So right now I really suck. But what I want to do, I'm sorry, say again.
They come up with new ones every week.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard they've been putting out a lot. But what I want to do is I want to play the game and go on comms and just mess with people as Tony. So like, because he has his ultimate, which is maximum pulse, and you hear the maximum pulse. And I want to go on there and just like start going maximum, 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 and just like do that so that people don't know when it's coming. So that when I actually do the maximum pulse, it's like it's out of nowhere. I really
Do
want to do it. I want to do it so bad.
If you see it, it's him.
It's me. It's always me.
Good question.
That's actually what I used to do with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because I would actually play as Spider-Man. And so, and I would be playing, well, this one I would like couch co-op with my friends. And so I would say Spidey's quips, and I would just keep saying the spammable ones, like the really, really annoying moves like web swing, web swing, web swing. And I would just do that while they were sitting there playing with me and be like, shut up, shut up. It was so much fun.
What's the first video game that you ever beat?
That I ever beat. I want to say Super Mario Brothers 1. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers 1.
Wow.
Yeah, that was OG.
Hey, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Evan, and my question, of all the roles you had, which is the one that reinforced the idea in your head that you decided, yes, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
You know, it's funny because that was something that I would probably say Spider-Man. It's weird because I had done a lot of stuff before that, and I had always done voiceover even since I was a kid, but I was still always doing on camera as well and really focusing on that. And I'd say when I was in my 20s was when I really like decided that I loved voice acting, because it allowed me to play parts that physically I wouldn't get cast to play. I could play outside of my type, because whenever you're doing on-camera work, you're pigeonholed into a very specific box, and it's very hard to break out of that. It's very hard to even be considered for an audition if the casting person already kind of thinks of you as this. And so that's why you see a lot of people get typecast, and a lot of times it takes somebody actually being a celebrity before they're in their typecast thing, before they'll be given the opportunity to play something that's against type and really show what they can do. And so, yeah, like there were a bunch of like things that I did aside from Spider-Man, but around that time was when I was like, you know what, I love this because there's no preconceived box that I'm being put in, and I can, do you sound like the character or not? And that was really freeing to me. But I'd say, yeah, probably Spider-Man was when all that kind of stuff started happening.
Thank you so much.
For sure, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's Costco Spider-Man.
What?
We matched. Do you see this?
Yes.
You see this? It's like
You
I'm
guys
looking in a
planned
mirror.
this? Oh my god.
Yeah.
We actually did plan that.
So thank you to Josh for making me have this idea, this suit first of all. So hi, I'm Troy. And Josh, my question is, are you familiar with the Lantern Corps from DC?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what Lantern Corps would Spider-Man be in?
I would probably say, I think it'd probably be Blue Lantern.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, crossing over somewhat into Green, because he is very hard-headed and definitely has a strong will. But I still think that hope is more what you know motivates him and rings through. He's still trying to live up to the values that Uncle Ben instilled in him. He's still trying to protect everybody that he loves, even at risk to himself and at the expense of his own kind of mental health and all of that. So I definitely think that, but it's all out of a good place. It's all, you know, hoping that he can do the best for everybody. So yeah, I definitely think that Blue would be where he's at, for sure.
Yeah, that's what everyone kind of views as Spider-Man, that symbol of hope that he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would definitely be Blue Lantern.
Awesome.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Troy.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hey.
Hey.
So, I am fully aware of how much your voice means to me and millions of others across the world. And if I were in your position, I would prove myself because there would be so much pressure put on my shoulders, like the weight of the world, because so many people would see my voice as so iconic. So I must have to ask, what's it like for your voice to be this symbol of hope for millions across the world?
It sometimes like doesn't feel real to me, because like with characters like Spider-Man or with characters like Shiro that have really resonated with a lot of people, like as much as we love doing the work and as much as we love the character, like it's a job. You know, you go in and you do it and you just kind of leave the work there, but it's still crazy to me that performance has almost like a life of its own, where even after you've left it years later, that performance is still going to live on and it's going to affect people, and people are going to find something that resonates with them, and it's going to mean something to them, and it's really fulfilling. Like as an actor, that's like what we dream of doing is being able to affect somebody's life, because a lot of, I'd say probably every actor that gets into it has had that same experience, that kind of cathartic experience where somebody else's work has meant something to us.
Yeah,
and so we want to like kind of go forward and put that out there as well. So I mean, it's a beautiful thing when somebody comes up to me and tells me that this character helped them through a hard time, or that or that you know they found strength in this, and it's like I said, sometimes it doesn't feel real. It's a little surreal, but it's at the same time very fulfilling.
Yeah.
Because, you know, hey, I as one person can only like help out so many people just in the course of my day, but it's almost like I've cloned myself in a weird way, and like, hey, this version of me can help this person, and it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, your voice is eternal, you know. Like
Thank you.
it's been preserved through these voice lines that have been produced across millions of streams across the world. So
Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me.
thank you, Josh. Thank you.
My name is Giancarlo.
Hey, Giancarlo.
What is your favorite line from when you played Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man? And what was your favorite Transformer growing up?
My favorite Transformer growing up? My favorite Transformer growing up would be Soundwave, because the main, well, actually, it would have been Optimus Prime, but like, we didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up, and I could never get the toy, because it was really expensive. But for Christmas one year, I did get a Soundwave, and so I played with that relentlessly, because that was the only Transformer I had. Had like the little laser beam cassette that went in and all that. So like I played with that thing all the time. It probably ended up breaking because I transformed it so many times. But that was my favorite. I'd say that in modern current iteration, I really love Wheeljack. I love his model. That the car that he turns into. I love that they used a Lancia. And because it's just a really awesome rally car, and he looks great. So I'd say that's probably my favorite vehicle mode in the modern ones. And in terms of Spidey, I'd say my favorite quip in the show is when he's fighting the Rhino, and like he gets a traffic cone on the Rhino's horn, and he's like, "Hey, I got the thing on the thing. What do I win?" And Rhino's like, "You." He's like, "I win me?" That makes no sense. That was my favorite line in the show. Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
My name's Richard.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah, grew up on Ben 10 growing up. Appreciate the cameo in X-Men 97 as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, but my question's about Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Okay.
Now, are you aware that at some events they'll play the game at a big stage, and someone will play Spider-Man, they'll just, when they get a call with someone, they'll just start like quoting the character over and over again?
I've actually seen one of the YouTubes of it.
Ah,
and
you have?
It warms my heart.
Yeah,
That
the question is,
performance
how-
still lives on. I love it.
Yeah, is it surreal, like seeing like a crowd just like, yo?
Yes, it's like being a rock star and like hearing people sing your song. It's crazy. It's wild to me. It's still like I said, there's certain things about this business that are still very surreal to me, even though like I've experienced them, and it's still like that's really happening. Oh my God, it's wild.
Yeah, they really get into it. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
It's Wayne.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so more than any other character, actually, one of my favorite roles you performed is actually Major Ocelot from Snake Eater.
Yes.
2 years ago, and also recently, I know you played Tyler for Pokemon Concierge.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
my question is, what is it like working with these big video game companies? Like, what's that experience feel like?
To be honest, like with Metal Gear, it didn't really feel like I was working on a big game. Like I've done other stuff where like AAA games,
Yeah.
and now they do like a lot of motion capture. So that's kind of like what I experience when I'm working on like a big AAA game. But a lot of the stuff that's just voice work and
Yeah.
not mocap still feels pretty intimate. Like when I was working on Metal Gear, Kojima was there, but I never really interacted with him. Like he was just the boss behind the glass.
Like a assistant, right?
Yeah, like he was just like the guy in the background, the god. And then there was our voice director, Chris Zimmerman, who was basically talking to him and then relaying to me.
Okay.
So she was like the go-between. And I'd worked with Chris a lot. I actually took her voice class when I was like 10. And so she had seen me, she'd watched me grow up. And so yeah, so it felt like a very, just like going in and working with somebody I'd known for a long time. It felt very safe. Like a good voice director will completely put you at ease to the point where you're just free to create, and that's like the mark of a good voice director, where they create a space for you where you are uninhibited and you can just kind of do whatever. And you got to trust your voice director, because with Ocelot in particular,
Yeah.
like every time I would perform it, she would just get on the mic and say cockier. And she kept saying cockier, and I went to the point where I thought I was overacting. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like 120% right now. And she must have heard my brain because she said, you're at like 80% right now. I need you at 120%. I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, where are you at 120%? So it's, I'm like doing the math. I'm like, okay, so I got to be at like 180%. And yeah, so that was Metal Gear.
Thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
My name is Miguel.
Hey, what's up, Miguel?
Hey, man. So I know I talked to you for the past couple of days. Thank you for that.
of course.
Speaking of particular Spider-Man, I mean, you know, as a kid, I was 11 when the show came out, and I watched it every Saturday. And it was like the best thing ever. I never knew about the later seasons and all that, and then plans, of course. I actually, when I was in college, like, you know, your Spider-Man really resonates with me. You're my Spider-Man. And I resonated through I was going through college. I was taking an ethics class, and I showed my professor like scene after scene of like, you know, here dropping all these important things, all these lessons and learned, and like how this applies to ethics. So, you know, not only do you resonate, you know, thank you for making my show, like, you resonate with, you know, ethics and how like you become a man and you know the responsibilities. So one of the big ones that I really loved was Shocker was like a man has a responsibility. And that really hit home, especially, you know, now as I'm getting older, you know, like, I have more responsibilities. So, you know, my question for you is, you know, have people be like, well, you know, do people ever tell you, you know, you saved me or you like gave me hope again? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say that like the one that I've heard that, I mean, it's happened with Spidey, but Shiro in particular from Voltron, really, I've had so many people come up to me and say that how much he helped them through hard times because he was somebody that like, he sacrificed everything about himself to help his team and to his own detriment. I mean, at times it wasn't really the best course of action for him, but the fact that he kept pushing through is what a lot of people loved about him. And yeah, I mean, it's always like I said, it's surreal. But it's a wonderful thing when I hear that.
Thank you. I'll never stop saying thank you. Thank you for making my childhood iconic, and you and James Armstrong and everyone that was involved in that show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, what's your name?
Marcos.
Hey, Marcos.
Like, you're one of my favorite adaptations of Spider-Man. Also, I have a question. Also, besides Spider-Man, you also voice other Spider-Man-esque characters in other forms of media as well.
Yes.
How did it feel playing those type of characters in comparison to when you played Spider-Man? And hypothetically, how would you think those characters will react if they are near Peter?
I'm assuming you're talking about like Black Spider and Agent Spider?
Yeah.
Okay. Those were fun. Those are fun because like it was the inside joke. You know, when I went in to do Black Spider, I had like different ways of doing it that I was kind of messing around with. And when I went in, I asked Greg. I said, hey, so I have a couple different ways that I can play this. Do you want to hear? And he just like said, Spectacular Spider-Man. And I was like, you don't want to hear what he's like, Spectacular Spider-Man. So that was kind of the intention from the beginning, was it to just be Spectacular Spider-Man, but in this universe. The actual Black Spider is not a good dude. So like in the comics, he's not a good guy. In our show, he's or in Young Justice, he was pretty awful. Like he like kills a dude on screen. So I definitely think that him and Peter would not be friends. I absolutely think that, well, and again, like he doesn't really have any superpowers. All of his stuff is tech-based. So I really feel that Peter would completely wipe the floor with him because you know, Peter's strong AF. So I really feel like you know, it would be light work for Peter, and he would probably be annoyed that this guy's also trying to outquip him. But you know, he wouldn't be doing it for long. Agent Spider, we don't really know. We don't really know like what the extent of his powers are. He might, and again, like if they were really going for the reference of the comics where Spider-Man actually did cross over, then maybe Agent Spider has like the same powers. And we don't really know if Agent Spider was good or bad. So he might very much be like, you know, Peter Parker. I think I gave him a name. I think I called him like Vinny Valet, because you know, Peter Parker and just different. Yeah, Vinny Valet. That's what I call Agent Spider's actual name. That's not canon, but it's my canon. But yeah, and if he's like Peter, then I guess it could go two ways. You know, like they could either be the best of friends, or you know, when two people are like so similar that they just can't be in the same room together because they hate each other. It might be that. But yeah, that's what I think.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, Vinny Ballet.
I like it.
Hey,
What's your name?
My name is Jackson.
Hey, Jackson.
I just wanted to also say thank you for being a major part of my childhood. I was lucky enough to have my brother show me Spectacular Spider-Man when I was alive and aware. And Spider-Man itself shapes who I am. And I just wanted to ask you, what does Spider-Man exactly mean to you?
What does
being
Spider-Man mean to me? I mean, Spider-Man was the one comic that I consistently read since I was a kid, and to be able to play him, and not just to play him, but to play him in a show that has had this much love over the years it's still a dream come true. Like sometimes I still have to pinch myself. Like I was really in that. Like I was in that show because everybody, and like I can't just pat myself on the back for Spectacular. Like there was everybody in that show, everybody involved with that show loved Spider-Man and loved the character. All of the supporting cast was perfectly cast. They were phenomenal. The writing was amazing. The animation was amazing. The art style, like it was everything hit. And as a Spidey fan, it made me happy. Not even just being able to be Spidey, but just as a Spider-Man fan, getting to be a part of such an amazing show, spectacular show, if you will. But I mean, what does he mean to me? It's a lot of it is. I mean, we like Peter because he's relatable, and he's relatable because he's not always perfect, and he can make some bonehead mistakes. He messes up a lot and has to deal with the fallout. But that's all of us, and you know, he can still be that good person and want to have the best intentions and still make really stupid decisions sometimes, and then his life is just how does he make it through that? And there's something inspiring about that. Accepting that you're going to make mistakes, but what do we do from there? And that's what I love about Peter. Like you got to take him warts and all. You know, he's not always gonna do the right thing, but he's gonna try to fix it. And I think that's what we can all try to do.
Absolutely. Thank you again, because you, and specifically your Spider-Man, shaped me the man who I am today, and helped me express myself through my partner in my life. And again, I just wanted to say thank you for being your Spider-Man.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Adrian. Hi, Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
You conquered, Marvel and DC with, unfortunately, shortcut series.
Yeah.
I would have watched 3 more episodes. But my question is, what other superhero comic book character, and a true good guy, not an anti-hero, a true good guy, would you like to voice if not Marvel and DC? Out of the big 2.
Oh, out of the big 2? I actually, are you familiar with Radiant Black?
No, tell me more, actually.
Okay, Radiant Black, it's a comic that they've been doing some animated stuff. Will Friedle's in it, and I've been approached to be involved in that. I can't really say who as yet. That'll be fun. In terms of just outside the big 2, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I haven't really read a whole lot of comics outside the big 2, and yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who it would be. There's still people in the big 2 that I'd like to be.
Well, you can answer if you can't think of any if you want.
Yeah, I'd say I'd like to maybe get a shot at Spider-Man. Of course, Spider-Man again. No, Superman. I'd like to get a hand at turn at playing Superman. I think that would be a really fun one. Maybe Batman one day. I gotta shoot for the stars. I gotta aim high because I've already done Spider-Man, so still with the back.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
Hey.
What's your name?
Hi, my name is Brian.
Hi, Brian. Nice to meet you too.
Okay, so my question is, as we see in season 2 of Spectacular, we have a lot of things building up. I don't want to spoil anything. I know some people might still be watching, maybe.
I think you're good. I think you're good.
It's in 20 years. You're
Yeah.
good.
Wait, been 20?
It hasn't been 20 years, yeah.
Well, I just want to be thoughtful, think about other people. You know. Well, my question is, we know things didn't really turn out the way y'all wanted to, and things got cut short, unfortunately. But my question is basically, if y'all were still able to keep going, and Greg was able to still keep cooking up,
Yeah.
what certain canon events or villains you would like to see Spidey face?
Well, I mean, they'd already set up a lot of them. They'd already set up that Carnage was going to make an appearance. They'd already set up that Hydro Man was going to be in it. They'd set up Hobgoblin. They set up...
Kingpin?
Say again?
Kingpin.
We couldn't use Kingpin. We couldn't use Kingpin because Kingpin was part of the Daredevil license. And so that's why Tombstone got leveled up. So Tombstone basically became our Kingpin. And I actually like that decision because our Tombstone was awesome. Like he really was, because he started out being just this kind of C-list guy in the comics, but I think Spectacular really made him into like an A-list villain.
It's okay if I ask him, Josh?
Yeah.
I just also want to bring up that Roger Kingsley was also in the show, so we could have gotten Hawkeye.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He was set up. I love that they used the Spot in Across the Spider-Verse, because I had been saying way before that movie ever came out, I want to see the Spot in Spectacular, because with our art style and with our animation, those fights would have gone crazy. So, but I mean, I'm glad that I've gotten now to see the Spot in animation, because I've always wanted to see those fights. I love the Portal aspect. It made me want to go back and play the game, Portal. But yeah, I would say. Who else would I like to see?
Sin Eater?
I don't think that they would have done Sin Eater in the show. Maybe in like the movies that they did after the show, after 5 seasons, because they did. Gene DeWolf and Stan Carter were in the show. They were featured in one of the episodes, so they were there. They existed in that timeline. Yeah. So that would have been interesting. Thank you.
All right, we got about 10 minutes left, so we're going to try to get through the rest of the questions. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Brian as well. You mentioned you want to play Batman earlier, so I had a really fun question. Do you think Spider-Man would have a harder time with Batman's villains, or would Batman have a harder time with Spider-Man's villains?
That's a great question. It is a really good question, because like mentally, they're both kind of firing on all cylinders. They're both very resourceful. They both kind of have to think in the moment. I still feel like Bruce has the upper hand in terms of like setting the odds of a fight in his favor. Like Peter thinks a lot more on his feet because he has to, but Bruce plans more because he doesn't have superpowers, so he has to plan everything out. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, because you got a guy with no superpowers except for his brain and money and tech. So, I mean, he would really. I would say it depends on how much time they have to prepare.
Like random encounter.
Like a random encounter, I think that Spider-Man would have an easier time, because he's got the power aspect. If Bruce knows who they are and has had time to kind of think about it, then I think he would feel better. But I mean, yeah, random encounter. I think that the power level is it's gonna be hard to overcome the power level that Spidey has.
Spider-Man versus Catwoman? What's happening? I haven't seen that.
You know what? That would be Spidey's kryptonite, because Spider-Man is attracted to whatever woman is right in front of him. So, yeah, I definitely think that. Because I mean, look at Black Cat. He was fumbling all over his words and couldn't get his head on straight. Like it's that's his kryptonite.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Hello, my name is Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
I have 2 questions. One, what color ring resonates with you personally?
Probably green. I'm very hard-headed. So yeah, the will for me.
And then the other question would be, in these crossover events, like such as Edge of Time or Shattered Dimensions, or even Across the Spider-Verse, what was it like working with these past and present other Spider-Men?
Well, I only got to work with Chris Barnes on Edge of Time. On Across the Spider-Verse, it was just me. Like I just recorded by myself in a booth with the director and the producer, and that was it. So I didn't get to meet anybody. And then same thing with not Edge of Time, the Shattered Dimensions. Shattered Dimensions, I didn't really get to see any of the other actors. We were all recorded separately. But I've been really good friends with Dan Gilvezan, who played Miguel in that one, and he was Spider-Man and Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends in the 80s. He's a buddy of mine. Like I go to his Christmas party every year. So we've been friends for a long time. So even though we didn't get to work together, we did the panel at Comic-Con for the game, and coincidentally ended up wearing like the same Spidey underwear. Like we weren't wearing the same hair, but like it was the same. It was the same thing. It was like nobody's gonna believe we didn't plan this, but yeah, it said Spider-Man on the band and everything. And, but I did get to work with Chris on Edge of Time, and that was amazing because, no pun intended, because you don't really get to work with other actors in video games. Like unless you're doing motion capture or something like that, they usually don't have you in the same room. So with that, we were in the same room. We were acting opposite each other. It was as if we were doing an on-camera shoot. But they were recording our voices. So that's why the energy in that game between us, the chemistry between us feels so good, is because we were there. We were there in each other's presence, working opposite each other and just kind of having a good time. So that was probably a big highlight in terms of experience for me, getting to work with him on that. It was a big treat to have like two Spider-Men in the room and just emoting. Thank you.
Hi. My name is John. I was very pleased to see Spectacular Spider-Man and Across the Spider-Verse. Spectacular is my favorite adaptation ever, even including the movies, because it really captures the quirky nature of the character. And I wanted to ask, what is your sort of headcanon for what happened in that Peter's life for him to side with Miguel?
Sure, I get asked this a lot, and because I personally think, and even Greg also thinks that he would have sided with Miles. However, that being said, even though that's what I believe, in this movie, he doesn't. And as an actor, you have to know why. You have to have a reason why he makes that decision, because if you don't have that reason, then you're just saying words. So, in my head, like, you start out by assuming that Peter blames himself for everything, which he does. He blames himself for everything, even stuff that's not his fault. He's already lost his parents. He's lost Uncle Ben, who was like his second father figure. In this world, I mean, you see in Spectacular Spider-Man, I mean, he's in love with Gwen. He doesn't even know, but he is. And so he's close with that family. He's close with the Stacy family. He's close with Captain Stacy because of proximity to Gwen. But also, it's kind of hinted in the show that Captain Stacy knows who he is, and Peter kind of figures out that Captain Stacy kind of knows, but they don't talk about it. But they have that weird moment of understanding. So he's gonna be close with Captain Stacy, and in this continuity, he dies in his arms. He's obviously going to blame himself for that. So now he's lost like 3 father figures. And in this world, we also have to assume like not every decision he makes is going to be final. And that one decision that he makes is not definitive of his whole personality. Like you can't just say, oh, you know, Peter would have done this, because you don't know what happened to him on that day. So if he's at the lowest point in his life, and some other Spider-Man comes from some dimensional portal out of the future, and again, an older Spider-Man, another father figure, comes to him and says, you know, hey, this happened to all of us, and I lost my whole family, and this isn't your fault. And the only way for your reality to stay intact, and the only way for you to save who's still here, is to do this, is to go along with this. Because if you want to save Aunt May, if you want to save Gwen, if you want to save MJ, if you want to save everybody in your life that still matters, otherwise they're all gone. So do you want what you're doing to be for nothing? Or do you want to save who's here? I can see him at the lowest point of his life, like maybe going along with it. And even like in the movie, he says, you know, we know it's hard, but it's the truth. Does that really sound like he 100% believes and really is passionate about that? No. It's like, you gotta do this. He doesn't like it, but. So that was how I had Canada. It's a lot to put into one line. But again, like if you don't have that reason, you're just saying words. And they're not gonna land.
Quick question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Green Lantern? Because it was great to see some hologram representation.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, because during that time in the comics, they were really going all in with Kyle Rayner and John Stewart and Roy Gardner.
Yeah.
So it was great to finally see some Hal growing up.
Sure.
And I just wanted to know, what is your favorite Green Lantern?
I like Hal. I also like Kyle. I really do like Kyle. And then I also kind of have like a love-hate for Guy. Like I love to hate him.
Yeah.
And especially how Diedrich Bader played him. He played the arrogance so perfectly. It was amazing. It was amazing. So it's hard for me to pick one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think we only have time for one more question.
We can do like a lightning round. I won't.
You okay with that?
We can. Yeah, sure.
Go ahead. What's your name?
How do you feel about Voltron getting taken off of Netflix?
I'm bummed about it. I don't know why they did it. And
I saw it
like people still watched it. And I mean, I can only assume that it's going to show up somewhere else because.
Unless you bootleg it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, however you got to watch it, you got to watch it. If they take it from you, you know, all bets are off. So, but yeah, but you didn't hear that from me. Hello, hello.
Hi
What's your question?
Hi there, my name is Ben, and I wanted to ask, what was it like working with the late Alan Rachins, who played Norman Osborn on
Oh, he was a class act, man. He was so, he always came, like, and he always had a good vibe, always really, really friendly. And he just, when he was, he's totally different from the character that he was. Like, he's a really sweet guy, was a really sweet guy. But as soon as he turned on that Norman, he just oozed this really evil charisma, where you wanted to keep listening to the guy, but you hated yourself for it. But you couldn't stop listening to him. He was great. Really fantastic actor.
Wonderful to hear. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Joy.
Hi, Joy.
Even though I really love your role in Spider-Man as well, I kind of wanted to ask about Hercules.
Sure.
Specifically, how was it watching yourself in theater for the first time? You were so young.
That was a big deal because like that was the biggest thing I had ever done at the time, and it was like a Disney Prince. Like I didn't do when he was older, but it still counts. It's still Disney Prince.
No.
Yeah, it's still Hercules. It was incredible, and I also saw that they put a lot of my facial expressions and mannerisms and all that into the final version of the character. So that was a little surreal. Like I'd never like to kind of somewhat be immortalized in animation in that sense was strange and weird and amazing. So yeah, it was quite the experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, so my name's Sergio, and did you ever think you'd be famous enough to be in the largest two animation projects this date, both Arcane and Into the Spider-Verse, obviously?
No, but like I'm happy about it for sure. They're both amazing projects, and I'm very, very grateful to have been part of them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Jade. I just wanted to ask, did you enjoy playing Voltron in Winx Club?
I did. That was a weird one because that was like something where they just called me. I didn't even audition for that. Like I just got cast in it. From the casting or the voice director knew me from other things. She brought me in on this, and it was like the first. I want to say it's probably one of the first like bad guy roles that I've ever done, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to be bad, for sure.
Thank you.
All right, we have like a minute, and then we're gonna take a big group picture. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Ro, and my question is, what is your most memorable moment or line or episode in Voltron?
In Voltron, my favorite is the Monsters and Mana one because it was amazing to be able to just get to do all of the exaggerated Shiro death screams. That was so much fun. And because I mean, you never really got a chance to see Shiro be silly, and he's still not, but that was about as silly as he got, and I loved it.
Thank you so much. I love Shiro so much.
Thank you, me too.
Okay, what's your name? What's your question?
My name is Amarion, and my question was, what's your favorite performance of Spider-Man? Because I know you did Spectacular Spider-Man, but you also did stuff on YouTube, like Spider-Man Blue.
Yeah.
Stuff on your channel.
I mean, honestly, I'm always gonna have to go with Spectacular because it's a part of something bigger, and there's no way that I could really replicate that scale of like storytelling. But those performances that I did, like I really had a good time with them, and it gave me a chance to almost kind of act out like what my version of a live action Peter Parker would be, which was fun. If anybody wants to see them, they're on my YouTube, where somebody had asked me to perform some of the panels from certain, like I did Death of Gwen Stacy, I did a different Amazing Spider-Man, and then from Spider-Man Blue, the opening monologue. So you can see me act those out how I would as Peter Parker.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And last one, you made it.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Janessa. I want to know what your favorite season of Voltron is, and I also wrote you a letter.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, bring that by my table. Okay. My favorite season, I mean, probably the first one. The first one, it's like that's really what got everybody hooked, and that's what set everything in motion. But one of my favorite episodes is probably the last one of season 6, the where him and Keith fight. That was such a heart-wrenching episode, and I always have to watch Monsters of Mana or Garfield Warful Snick afterwards just to brain bleach, to like cleanse my aura. But,
I understand that completely, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
All right, cool.
Awesome. So, if it's okay with you and all of y'all, we're gonna take a big group picture together. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I love the enthusiasm. Yes.
Yeah. Woo. You need to come up front, my friends. All right.